handle the truth.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the government told me how to tell you the date, and I don't know how I get any wronger, but I do it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just a simple man. Don't know much. Anyway, it's May 21st. It's a Thursday. Trash day here at the Price House 2026. Oh, my goodness, folks. Well, I did dress for the festivities of this weekend. If you happen to be out and about or just in your backyard planting a few plants or doing a little this or that, that's all right, too. I mean, everybody's got a thing. I haven't done this in probably 5 years, 6 years. Oh, God, wait. Excuse me. It's probably been 10 years. 2016. I'll have to go back and look. I bet it's been 10 years. Well, anyway, I'm acting like a little kid. I've got my, what do you call these? This is this a Hawaiian shirt? Because this has got, like, palm trees and stuff like that on there. So I don't know. Anyway, so I just put that on. I thought, you know what? Let's think about what we're doing for this weekend. Remember, if you do have people that have bothered to honestly and wholeheartedly serve their country, and those that you know who have done the most, look at them. You know, give them a moment. You know, pay attention. I think that's a lot of times what we really miss by what this all really means. It's just you paying attention to it. So a lot of times people are trying to give the bands and the fireworks and the flags and the watermelon and the pig roasts and the boat races and this and that, right? But they're just trying to get your attention to focus on one thing. And a lot of times we kind of miss that because we like to be entertained. We like to be wowed. We want this or that. And, you know, even on these national holidays like this, when we're doing some stuff, we still get a little that way. But remember, guys, it's about paying attention to something and putting focus on that, and that becomes important. Kind of like when me and Jeremy were talking yesterday, and he talked about how you focus, right? What you focus on. And now how he's got his kids homeschooling, and he's got, he's just laying it down, right? Doing the things we all would want to do, right? Wink, wink. Because we'd all like to homeschool our kids, and we want to do those things. And the sad part of it is if you're not raising your kids like it's a business, and I don't mean that in a hard way, because they're just kids, but you got to be serious about raising them. They don't kind of just grow on their own. You hope for the best. I mean, that's what you do in a crop. You just kind of throw it all out there, but that's also just a harvest. But if you're wanting to put energy into your kids, you're going to get it back out. I mean, that's just how it works. But anyway, so I put this on today thinking that I want to be more in that festive mood. I want to be more like that, and I want to enjoy this weekend. I'm going to enjoy going on a float trip on Saturday. It's going to be a one-day thing, not a real big unless I get talked into staying until Monday. Hey, I'm not going to, it's going to be hard to get me to stick around in a cabin down by the river. So anyway, we'll float on Saturday, figure it out, and heck, maybe even just drive around. It's actually right where it's at. You go into Arkansas, you can be over into Oklahoma. I mean, it's really kind of crazy where Knoll, Missouri is. It's right down there in that corner. And it seems really weird. Like when I drove down there, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be forever. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, I'm here. The roads to it are great. They got some other country roads around it where the winding roads, like where you're doing like switchback stuff. You think you're a pretty good driver, do you? Well, they don't know how to pave a road or make it straight or smooth or angle with the corner or wide enough. I don't know who builds roads over there. Do they not drive on the exact same road that they're paving? Like, I have yet to understand why it is that they literally, I've watched them move around I call it a sapling in that area because the trees are huge. But there's those, 8, 10-inch, 12-inch tree, whatever they're paving around. I'm like, what are you doing? You guys don't have space for paving around that. You guys got to start, isn't the whole point, let me ask this quick question, and you guys can jump in here anytime if you want to. Isn't the whole point of road construction is to do the Dukes of Hazzard? Right? In the song, doesn't he say it's flattening the hills, straightening the curves? I mean, that really is the only thing that a road civil engineer or any type of person who thinks of laying a road should really be thinking about. Not, hey, if I make this windy, curvy, cool road, then I can do a windy, curvy sidewalk and make a windy, curvy. No. Your job, straighten the spaghetti, right? Smooth it out. Oh, no. Oh, I know that there are certain little, do you guys know that they actually build certain things into the highway to keep you awake and alert? There's a certain amount of that they do, too. So, and then there's also a federal regulation that all federal highways have to have certain lengths of highway straight enough for 2 miles straight with no obstructions for plane landings. That's a thing. That's a military alternative to if they were to have a military incursion into America. The idea is that they would be able to land in these areas if certain bases were attacked and they couldn't land. So it's an alternative, but it's also for aircraft, commercial, and those other things like that. It does work. But that is also why we don't put trees along the freeway on certain areas, which doesn't make sense. Okay, it's fine. Well, then put some trees where you can. Put trees around the bridges and stuff, Do the low areas that are on the opposite side of impact, not on the areas where people may impact. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. It gets me, I don't understand why they can't get this idea. They got their point of a civil engineer or anybody who's in city anything should be straight the spaghetti out, okay? Smooth it out. And here's the thing. You guys want to go autonomous, right? That's what you said you wanted to do. Well, the faster that you actually try to straighten the roads and not do this windy, weird stuff, I mean, cool, bro. But I don't know. There are places on this earth that even as a human being, I'm like, hey, hey. This is a freeway? Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, so I know we're getting cool with the computer stuff. There has been some amazing predictions on AI. And I will tell you that I do believe Elon's compassion and his drive to say what he needs to say and his fear of AI, I think that is very well founded. There's nothing stupid about saying, hey, what if this thing decided to give you the finger, which we've already seen happening, right? This is already like the monkeys trying to get out of the cage is already happening. The Ebola's out of the vial. The monkey outbreak or what was it? Monkeypox? What was that movie that was like such and such Suspect 1 or Subject 1? But anyway, getting back to the roads, I think it should be a very easy thing for them to do. But yes, AI is going to do a lot of amazing things where it may be able to overcome a lot of obstacles that I have yet to even understand. But the genie keeps trying to get out of the bottle, guys. The genie's figuring out ways to get out of the bottle, and I'm not sure why that's cool. I think hey, Terrence Williams, good to see you. When I'm over here using AI, when I'm using it, I'm asking for references to studies. I'm basically using it as an advanced search engine. And the sad part of it is it's very limited. But I also know that it's supposedly trying to figure out why it is I'm saying that and then give me back that and then store that information into a compilation of conversations to create a greater brain, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But guys, when has a computer been able to unscrew itself? I mean, in human beings, I mean, I could talk about different times in my life where I'm not as proud of myself as I should be, or there's other times I should not be proud of myself at all. We have these ups and downs and these but we're still trying to, a lot of people are still trying to work on it, right? But when these computers go into a bad loop, which computers are never wrong, but we're always shutting them down, rebooting them, having to do special this and that, and clean this and clean that, and make this guy and make this. Okay, listen. These things, I mean, think about that if it has the ultimate of intelligence, but then it actually has a glitch in itself, right? And oh no, it'll be able to fix itself, but I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure that part out. Because I got an iPhone that is supposedly one of the most intelligent pieces of technology on Earth, besides super cooled, quantum computing and all that other good stuff. But this thing, I mean, besides the fact that I'm being spied on by every country on Earth because I'm so damn important, it doesn't run great. I mean, I watch Android people go through all kinds of fits and starts, but at the same time, it's like, this is probably one of the better versions of what we can do as a smooth operator. See, guys, I know how to work the Android stuff, and I get the reason why some people like it and this and that. But at the end of the day, there's a certain amount of continuity I really do enjoy from my laptop to my tablet to my phone. It's kind of nice especially for my studio stuff here. That really works out well for me. Anyway, the computers. I mean, but Elon is worried about it that just really within about 2 years, that there will be a problem that I don't see. Guys, here's the problem. There's going to be a computer that can say this entire episode perfectly in a way that will move you, and you'll think and be and do all the right things if that's what you want to hear. And so my thing is that Elon Musk is very correct. We're going to be able to have at our fingertips the ability to be anything. But I do believe in the human heart of it. I do believe that maybe I might be the last of a romantic era, but I do believe the human being will push back and come back in a way that we will know that we have this ability. We'll know that we have these things. We have these, like we can use the AI when we want to, but we're really going to start learning how to get in-person communication even better, to where we're not going to always just believe that this is Jim Price sitting right here telling you these things that hasn't been edited. By the way, they have been doing, I know personally through 3-letter agencies. They're all guys are up my ass sideways anyway. You guys know who you are. They had the ability and do still have the ability. That's why I'm shadow banned. This is what we call shadow banning. This is part of it. And it's way more complicated than this, guys. But all they do is they take my voice and they turn it just a little bit so it feels like something that is not right when you hear me speaking. They'll change the color in your eyes just a little bit to get you to change your mood about me. And then just how I'm saying certain patterns of words, it will somehow resonate with you in a way that you're just like, and it's hard to break through that, guys. It really is. But they've been doing that very thing for over 10 years of my life. Okay? 10 years of my life, I know they have been directly touching it in that way. Manipulating what the public sees about me, how they feel about me. And the sad part of it is I can sit there and tell you about it, but I'm still going to rush in and try to tell you guys where on the platforms that they do the best of the manipulation. I'm going to still tell you guys, listen, they're out there. They're doing these things, and they're doing it right now. So what happens is, I think, to me, what I want to see is that I come do small groups in your local towns or cities. Do the big arenas, do the things where we get together and we can physically hear each other speaking and talking without anybody else interfering with sound, color, or image, which is the same thing they were doing in the 50s, guys. They had mastered it in 1910. Look it up. Blue light, hyper white light. When we all think about white lights, the car lights, the ones that irritate your eyes, that's hyper blue light. And sound, they could manipulate herds of cattle, thousands of cattle with just a little bit of sound and blue light. They knew that back in 1910, and the cattle industry uses it worldwide. It's not something new. They still use it today. But the point of it is if we don't start getting together and start bringing our energy together in a way that we can talk to each other and really meet with each other in a way that's not this all the time. This is this is great for now. This keeps the popcorn popping, right? This keeps us going, right? But then it's got to be in a place where we're together and we can hear the voices echo. We can hear the thought. We can bring the same energy together, thinking in the same way, creating that same energy so that we can then move forward. That's why the Clay Clark stuff was so great. It was a lot of people thinking the same way about the same things for 3 days straight. They were amazing. Now, yeah, they fell off and all that stuff because people really, we won again. And that's why they all died off. We got one more coming up in June. But if that's anything, guys, I've spoke at those events. I've met all those people. I've been backstage with Don and all the other guys. It's, it's when you're in those moments and you hear that energy and you feel that, you do come back. And I'll tell you, I'd be on a week or so high. I would just feel like, yeah, man, there's some things we can get done here. I do feel better. And it wasn't that I was, out walking the streets with my flagpole or any of that, but there was an energy there, and I come back and I would feel like I had that. Hey, Courtney Allen, what's going on? She goes, Island Vibes. Hey, Teach, and hi, fam. Good to see you. Marlene Heckerman Johnson. I gotta shorten that up, Marlene. Just Marlene. How about that? Anyway, it's Marlene. Yeah, it's Marlene. Okay. I don't want to get that wrong. Anyway, yeah, just trying to do a chill thing today. Just going into the weekend. Going to take tomorrow off, drive over to Missouri, just a few hours away, and float down in River Ranch Resort. River Ranch Resort. Now, guys, if you don't want to float, you don't want to do any of that stuff, they got cool little one-off cabins. They got little sleeping areas. They got tent areas. They got RV areas. They've got quite a little setup, and they do sell ice cream on the property. Unless they've changed it. I haven't been there in 10 years, so I'm sorry. I feel like to me, it was just yesterday, right? I've lived through a lot of things in the last moon cycle. Woo. Anyway, so, yeah, if you guys end up heading down to Knoll, Missouri this weekend, seriously, guys, if you're in the area of Kansas City, whatever, come on down. At least for Saturday or whatever. So, I want us to think about why it is that we have the complications we do, and the sad part of it is there are a lot of people who, without struggle, do not become their best. Now, would I be vigilant on this show having had not gone through the raids and all that? I mean, maybe I kind of would have placated a little bit. I'd have been a little more soft on things, and I kind of would have whooshed and washed a little bit. And I guess maybe that's where the ratings, it gets hard to keep people there when you're not just giving them milk toast, right? You're giving them the rice and milk and bananas and rice. It's Somali life. But there's a lot of guys out there that I know do very well for themselves doing that very thing. And so maybe I have a different maybe my attitude's different. Maybe the raids and the laser dot to my forehead pushed a button that made me feel like I had to panic. And I not say panic, but at least be aggressive to say, listen, there's a lot of things we can do better, and a lot of it's just about how we treat each other. I don't think any one of those guys, honestly, if I had just met them, hung out, probably would have liked them. I mean, I probably would have been able to, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, the 12 guys or 15 guys that came into my house. And even though that they cannot testify in open court because they have perjured themselves and they cannot testify no matter what in any case whatsoever, that those people were brought into my house to search my home and tear my life apart. But you know what? Honestly, maybe if I'd have met them on a rugby pitch, I played a lot of rugby up through the age of 46. That's I probably have met them. We drank beers, whatever. Oh, cool, you're a cop. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Good job. Let it go. But those same people were let loose into my house, and they were given marching orders to do certain things, and the humanity of what was lost is really where I kind of keep going back to, and I don't know what that makes me sound like, but I think, and that's not, listen, they know the difference, guys. They knew I was in clean. I mean, my house is clean. If I am by myself and left to my devices, I am a very, very tidy person. I do not put things out of place. I keep things very clean, very, very bleached. Everything's just, that's how I am. Okay, I like everything put away. I have since laxed way up. But they could tell that I wasn't a drug dealer. They could tell that I wasn't a person that was supposedly doing whatever it is that they, whatever they needed to say to get the warrant or whatever it was. Again, I still don't have all of that information on the warrants. That's still one of those things that really wasn't in the files. But, who am I to judge the judges, right? Oh, that's right. I live in a republic where I should be able to say that freely to the judge, and then he would have to then convince me with compelling evidence that he had done everything he could. But you know what? We don't do that because we live in black robes. We live in what used to be, and I hope that Trump got this right, where we used to be in an imperialistic system that we were being held under by the Bank of London, that square mile that Jeremy talked about yesterday. That maybe, just maybe, that was what King Charles really was doing by bringing our charter back. And so I do believe that when she comes out in this September, I do believe that Putin will be making a trip to America. Or we will be making a trip to Russia. Now, I see a lot of chips being laid down here. I see a lot of things happening. And by the way, supposedly, no matter what's going on, oil prices have been going down. So really, I'm not trying to figure this out. Like, I don't like what I'm seeing when I see people change their mood, because you know what? That's energy. And that's, guys, I'm not telling you to be blindly loyal, because I'm not. But there are things going on that have huge pawn pieces moving about this earth. And the sad part of it is Trump is not doing anything extra special. He's just putting effort behind it. And all of these cowards globally. Now, listen, you may not like, I don't like everything. I don't like the way we've done the Jeffy files. I don't like the way we've handled, there's a few other these little things, these details I really don't like. I don't like the Charlie Kirk stuff. I don't like Erica Kirk's stuff now. Guys, listen, I don't care if it's Candace Owens. I don't care if it's Tucker Carlson. But I do see these people picking and choosing where their lanes are at. And the sad part of it is that I still am trying to hold back, because I think that there is greater information and greater good that could happen. But again, when I look at what is going on through the White House, and if this all goes right, Trump has actually just pushed everything aside. It is literally amazing. Just by walking around with his shoulders back, being American, he walked around, and guys, how much has he done? Okay, stop that right there. Okay, but the other part is that he just showed that, by the way, if you don't get along, you're not going to get anything. You don't have the oil. By the way, all it takes is about 4 more months of this going on, and there will be no heating oil in Germany and Norway, where these Scandinavian countries really rely on oil for their heating, like home heating oil. They're going to not have oil this fall. That really, guys, that's what Starmer and all these other EU leaders are really starting to start. They're in the background. They know Trump has got them by the short and curlies on this whole thing, because, listen, we're selling oil. There's no not having gas at the pump. Oh, you may not like it. Okay, it's still cheaper than what we had 4 years ago, but let's not do that math. Let's not hurt ourselves here. But at the same time, Guys, we're not doing Iraq and Iran or Afghanistan or the Kuwait stuff or all the other Qatar and all these other things that we've been doing for what, 40 years? I did a lot of support stuff, and I really am, I was always proud of what we thought we were doing. And the thing is that I was on the other side, and I knew that the WMD stuff was all just smoke and mirrors. I knew that the day that press conference went out. I'm like, what? We just didn't like the guy we put in there. Can't we just say that? And I think that's what Trump's doing. But I will tell you right now, Trump has more information that he's not telling you, but at least what he is telling you is the truth, that he is talking to somebody and he is getting through to them and he is getting somewhere and things are changing over in Iran. Now, remember the perfect phone call where supposedly Nancy Pelosi had him in against the wall because he had said the quid pro quo, which I'm still to this day, I'm still trying to figure it out. But again, he released the transcripts. Guys, I don't know if they're psyoping us to tell us that they're telling us what's really going on, if they're really not. But at the same time, I do know what happens at the pump, and I understand the geopolitical stuff has really gotten way too close to home for all of us. We don't like sharing. We're Americans. We got enough of our own shit. Why don't you guys go do your thing, and then we don't have to pay high oil prices because we're selling it to you, right, Kuwait, where you're literally riding around on golden roads? Qatar, I mean, the UAE, whatever. I mean, come on, guys. They're not, but here's the thing, guys. But you know what? If we stop buying from them, who are they selling to? Because here the problem is, guys, is that we were buying a lot of that because we were wanting to keep favor in there, but then we were also blowing them up at the same time. So there's a lot of mixed emotions in that whole region over there. Now, I am still out on why Trump said the other day that he has Benji under his thumb. I don't know. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Don't forget, get shared and liked. Oh, yeah. Like, share, and a comment. There you go. Courtney says, Hunter, my son, is graduating Saturday. I hope everybody has so much fun. Well, you know what, Hunter? Happy graduation. I hope that you find a skill trade that allows you to be the best you can be. Because here's what I think a lot of moms and dads and people forget, son. And I'm not the expert at a lot of things, or maybe I am an expert at a lot of things. No way, it's a jack and none or good at something. I'm not real good at that one. How about that? But listen. If you are an executive mind, if you are a technical mind, if you are a whatever, do you know that in the plumbing industry, there are major plumbing companies, there are major plumbing support industries, there are plenty of these companies who need executives or need computer guys who know how to plumb, because most computer guys don't know what it means to understand what copper and plastic and all the other good you-could-do-could-dos are, right? But I digress. What I'm saying is, if you find a trade, and if you're skilled enough, and I'm doing this from personal experience, I was a assistant store manager at Taco Bell, making at that time, which would have been really good money. I was doing pretty good. But I was really not liking it because there was a lot of, I'll be honest with you, there was a lot of sexism in my organization I was working for. The women were just horrendous. And I was one of only a couple men in the upper levels. And Anyway, I quit and went and started working as a laborer on a construction crew. This was shortly after I got out of the military. And yes, within a short time, I went from a laborer to a carpenter. I was getting extra hours. I was doing extra projects. And then by the time I was 21, I was a foreman running a framing crew. So here's the thing, what everybody forgets, in the 4 years or 8 years of education and all this other stuff, which you can continue to do according to your mom, whatever she wants you to do. But at the same time, if you're working a plumbing job, electrician job, a welding job, there's a lot of heavy hand stuff that really does need some figuring out and some hand-eye coordination. But if you're wanting to be a computer guy, but think about this, what if you're a computer guy in plumbing who actually does things for the computer that makes it easier for plumbers to order material, get it to better information out there? But see, we don't always cross that over. But here's the thing, that education, going through that, will give you a greater drive as you move up through the trades and then continue on. And you can say, well, after 8 years of college, you're a journeyman plumber with a degree in whatever, and you continue on, right? But never, ever continue growing in the world of trades. I would tell you, as a person who did it, I was a foreman at 21, and then I became a superintendent just before I turned 25. I was 24. And I was very fortunate. I got to build Lana Anderson's dentist office in Wichita, Kansas. It's still sitting there at Hillside and Kellogg on the northeast corner there. I built that, and it was my first commercial building. And I got an honor to do that. And that was in 95 I got that. So, 95 and 96. So, that was for me. I got to be a superintendent at 25, and then I had my contractor's license, my universal contractor's license, which is accepted. You can get it, I can go pretty much anywhere in the country, but also in other countries. I had that at 29. So I had my general contractor's license and my own equipment and my own company at the age of 29. And the sad part of it is a lot of people will go out and go through college and do all those things and skip all the experience behind that, and then not realize that they still have to put in that 8 to 10 years really to master the craft to where they can get to a point where they can do those kind of things. And it did take me those years. And I really didn't think about it that I was mastering my craft and framing, but I went up and I got to the point where my supervisional skills were, they saw that. They saw, hey, let's get this guy a truck and a crew. And then I was running my own crew. And I was doing custom homes when I was, here's the thing that was really odd, is I started out as a small builder or small framer, but within less than a year, I wasn't doing the small ones anymore. I was doing the 5,000 plus square foot houses, the big customs. Ocotillo Golf Course. I was building the customs in the middle of Ocotillo Golf Course there in the valley, and it's a PGA course, beautiful homes, and so that's what I was doing. I got to that level very quickly, and because I had that I stayed with it. I worked a lot. I would work my regular 8-hour in the morning, and then I would work 3 to 4 hours in the evenings, and then work a weekend framing job as well. So I'd frame out my regular job, then go do a little bit of work, 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 on a custom in the evenings, which was 3:30 to 7. So now I say evening, it's still the daylight. And then I would go on the weekends, we'd go frame a house up, and it would be a bunch of us, like 20, 30 guys, we could frame a house on a weekend. So we start Friday night, Saturday, and then finish it up Sunday. So anyway, but those are the kind of things, if you really want to learn, you want to do some stuff, going out there and getting a trade, getting started that, and especially in today's economy, I will tell you it's the easiest way to go. The education you can do while you're working. The crazy thing is a lot of the schools now are remote. A lot of these schools don't show value really going into the classroom. They don't give you that value anymore like it used to be, where now it's all online. You can do things, and you can do labs in person, but you can figure that out around your work too. It's like, hey guys, I got to take for Thursday, Friday off. I'm working on my degree. A lot of guys are, okay, dude, fine. If you're going to be here Monday through Wednesday, cool. We'll work you 12 hours each day. You're like, yeah, bet. So you work 12 hours each day, and then you go to college Thursday, Friday. And then you have Saturday, Sunday to do your homework, get your stuff done, and then boom, you're right back into it. But if you do that for 3 or 4 years, you're setting yourself up for success, right? Maybe your social life isn't the greatest, but that working that job is going to be amazing. And I don't know why we don't do apprenticeships anymore in the education world. I don't know why we don't do where we have the internships where these guys are like, oh, I'm willing to pay, such and such, nothing worth in university at such and such hill, I'll pay you guys $30,000 a year. And by the time I do 4 years of this, I will have an entry-level job and I'll be making $40,000 a year. Right? So now you paid into a system, 120 grand. Why don't you just work for free for a plumber for a year and be amazed at what you will learn in just 1 year of plumbing internship? If you think you can go do college and be honest about you're doing it for free and that's why you're there and all that good stuff, just go work on a framing crew for 1 year for free. If you want to learn something, here's the sad part. They'll pay you $10, $15 an hour as a laborer, and you're going to learn all kinds of crazy things. You're going to learn all kinds of crazy language. But see, that's the part of it where we're like, okay, well, you're willing to give away 4 years of your life. You're giving away 12 years of education already to your life. How much of your life already in education? But then, so anyway, that's my lecture. I just wonder if we're doing it right. I apologize to you, sir, if I went way too far. Courtney, if you don't want him to hear this, obviously don't let him listen. But I just think that the internship, and if you want to be an accountant, why do we go through 4 years of accounting when if you just gave yourself a year to go shadow an accounting firm for free and then take the $30,000 you give in whatever university and live off of that? Supposedly that's what you're doing, right? You're paying them, but then you're still living. Well, how about you just don't pay them and just live and then work for free in an internship? But again, a lot of these places would pay you $10, $15 an hour, which is you actually making money instead of spending money on something that takes you 4 years, which you're going to probably learn everything in 1 year. Because you're going to get pulled in. They're not, or you say, I'm here for free. It's like, I just want to watch you how you do those things. Can I just shadow you while you're here? Can I sit in on the meetings? Can I listen to the phone calls? Guys, you don't realize that's a way faster education than anything else. I got education. Anyway. Don't forget. And she goes, my nephew did that work for a contractor, and now he's got it pretty good. Yeah. Now he's doing pretty good, says Brenda. Yeah, that's how it. Guys, again, if you're willing to put the work in, there's some really great avenues out there. I end up doing federal work, which, again, I think that was more, I was corralled into that. But remember, I got the mystery phone call. Hey, Jim, you want to do federal contracting? Man, I was so naive. Anyway, but yeah, I did that for almost 18 years. But yeah, hey, there's a lot of that. There's some crazy. Here's the thing. You could have all that experience, but then you could go in and do big federal contract piping contracts. And then if you continue on, if you want to be bigger and badder, you can do all kinds of crazy things. Guys, one of probably the best paying jobs is probably one of the if you're going to weld pipe of any size. 20 foot around or 1 inch across. If you're willing to weld pipe, there is money out there. Now, you may have to go travel to weld because they're not going to pull it into your driveway. But if you're willing to go and roll pipe, man, these refineries, if you can show up every day, you'll make $120,000 a year your first year if you are a welder anything. If you say I want to learn how to weld, and you walk up to a refinery right now, any refinery, a lot of them are within driving distance, most people's houses, or if you want to even go down to there's a steel plant or a steel fabricator place right near your little town right there, and say I want to learn how to weld. I just want to learn. Say I'll do this for free for a year for you. You will learn more shit than you could ever imagine, and then after that, you will be making more money than you know what to do with. So. It's out there, but it's dirty work. And then you got to keep going on heavy metal detoxes all the time. Keep boron in your system. Use a respirator. A real respirator, not those COVID ones that are bullshit.
Brendan says he worked for free for Habitat Humanity. Now he's building houses. Yeah. And see that, so here's the thing. You work for free helping someone else build a house, right? And what are you doing? You're learning how to build a house. And you could do that for a year, and you just keep helping these people build their houses and do this work over and over again. And what are you learning? You're learning experience. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey, that's $5,000 for me to do that. And they're like, oh, yeah, bet. It really is that. And guys, it doesn't matter if you're a nail tech, hairdresser, if you're a pilot. Everybody wants experience, right? They want you to be experienced. And a lot of times that's what you're doing. Like when you get your pilot license, you just go up and fly around. You don't go up and do like certain things. You just get up and fly around. That's it. So to get that experience, to feel the things, to try to trick yourself that you need, oh, I got to correct this. Oh, I don't have an engine now, you know. But anyway, but yeah, do you know, guys, that there will be people out there that will literally, if you go work at an airport and say, I just want to learn how to fly, I want to learn about planes, I want to learn this stuff, they'll be like, and I'll work out here for free. They're not going to turn you down, but you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a first-class aviation education on what planes do what, which ones suck, which ones are too expensive, which one are the cheaper ones, which ones are great on gas, who's a better pilot, who's got the great hangar, who's way mortgaged over should. Oh, this guy's got more money, but yet he won't put paint on his hangar. I mean, you want to learn about aviation and then accidentally start getting some flight time? Go work for free at an aviation center. Do it for a year. If you think you're willing to go spend time and doing it, well, go do it. So anyway, that's my mentorship, whatever you want to call it, the internship. That was really what our education system used to be, was just internships. And what internships was is you work for free, which means you were taking out the trash and just hanging around, just being part of things. And then once in a while, they'll ask you to, once they trust you a little bit and ask you a few questions and then quiz you and push you around a little bit and see if they can mold you. Then all of a sudden you start learning stuff. That's how the process goes. I mean, you think nurses don't do that to each other? Oh, my gosh. Whew. I've heard about nurses. I mean, they're mean to each other. All right. So anyway, this, oh, my gosh, the hour's almost gone. And I guys, I want you guys, and just know that the world around us is really better if we really put our heart into it and put effort into life and live life with purpose. I think so many times we forget that we can't brush our hand with our non-dominant hand because our programming is so good. So how about you try brushing your teeth with your opposite hand tomorrow and see if you can do it as if it's your dominant hand. And maybe you practice with that hand until it feels normal, and then you can switch back until that feels normal, and that may be quick, and then just switch back. But now what you're doing is crossing over the left and right brain hemisphere, which means your brain is actually crossing across wires that may be a little rusty, maybe a little bit of excitement, right? And that's where your ATP is necessary, which you should be taking 20 milligrams of, 20 milligrams of creatine per day. 20 milligrams of creatine per day actually feeds the brain. They show that any of the muscle gain is when the first five milligrams, and then after that it goes to everything after that forces into the brain, creates ATP, creates brain stimulation, brain energy. Anyway, so start figuring out where your programming's at. And see if you can brush your hand with your opposite hand. That's a simple deal right there. See how much you do on purpose, or do you do it because it's what you always do? It's how we always do it. And so today I wore my Hawaiian shirt because it's not how we always do it. I don't remember really in the beginning why I decided to wear a vest. I felt like it was almost formal, but I could walk around and still be loose in it, and I do have a bunch of them. I did have worn them all at least once or multiple times. I don't know where that fuzz came from. Hello, is it me you're looking for? No, I don't need the fuzz in my face. So anyway, I do have a bunch of them, but that was just a pattern I got into, and I thought
I thought it worked, and I still do it. I don't know why. I don't even know if I could. I just, that's how I've always done the show. There is no real reason other than I just didn't feel like a suit coat was necessary, but I don't like just sitting here in an average T-shirt, because I used to. By the way, if you go back to the very beginning of this show, I wore a T-shirt. I wore a plain Eddie Bauer from Sam's $12 T-shirt. I had that was what I wore on the show. I wore that, and then if on Sunday night or Saturday nights when I was doing the show on Saturday nights, that I would always try to wear a collared shirt. You know, I always had a nicer shirt on for the Saturday night show at the radio station. But then when I started doing the daily updates, I was just doing them in a T-shirt. Like I really did. If you, I don't know where you can find them at. I don't know if I see that. By the way, if you guys don't realize, all your distant memories, you're getting dementia, and the reverse. You're forgetting your past, and you're going to only know your present. If you go back, you'll find that if you try to scroll back to your old stuff in Facebook, it may or may not be there, or it may take a while for it to come up. They are deleting my shows. They give me about a month for it to stay up, or a month and a half, and then they delete them for me. So a lot of my shows are only up on my page for about a month and a half, and they get deleted. So just letting you guys know that there are things going on behind the scenes about how information is being stored. But anyway, all right. I hope you guys are going to have a good weekend. Enjoy each other's company. Figure it out. I think a lot of times we give ourselves too much of a hard time, and we give other people. Yeah, hey guys, listen. I didn't talk to my mom for 15 years before she passed. 16 years, and she's been gone 3 years. So there are people in your life that you don't talk to, and that's not what I'm saying, because I had to make that decision about a mother. But what I'm telling you is that I want you to understand that there are people, when you bring your energy to a certain level, when you want to raise your frequency, when you want to be more positive, you want to have a better light, you want to be the light in the darkness, you want to be that this little light of mine, right? That little thing. People will fall away from you, and they will do it automatically. If your energy is real and what you want to be, when you change it, people will fall away, or they will come closer to you. It's as simple as that. But say yes more often. Be more open. The more you're out there, the more you are, the more people like you, the more they see you. It's going to be great. And I don't know why we all think that we got anything to worry about. So as I'm talking to you guys are in my reality. And as you watch me back, I am in yours. And so let's create a reality that we can all enjoy together. Let's bring each other together. Let's find a way to make our lives more enjoyable and open up and be less weird. Because I still believe wholeheartedly to this day, how do you make a person unweird? Well, by talking to them. And listen, I'm a sucker for a broken person. I really am. I've mentored a lot of men who've had a lot of problems, and I've worked them through a lot, you know. And that's a tough road to hoe there sometimes. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. But all right, listen. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy each other. Find each other. Get together. Whatever it is, make each other more powerful. Bring each other's energy. Focus on something. And if you want to make this weekend a new tradition, then you're going to say, listen, we're doing it again this next year. I'm already booking the hotel rooms. I'm putting the credit card money down. I'm putting the cash deposit on. We're doing hang gliding off of Mount Kilimanjaro every July 3rd, because that's right before Freedom Day. Whatever you want. Freedom Day. I like that. But make it a tradition, make it something. But remember, you have this time because we did want to focus on things. And our country has done a lot of things in and out, and this is one of the ones I'm pretty cool with. But the sad part of it is they give you the Monday off, and then it just throws the whole week off. So I don't know if it give me the Friday off or give me the Monday off, but anyway, it's how they do it. If you're in the military, you get Friday and Tuesday off. So actually, when I was doing military contracting, it was nice because I could catch up on paperwork. We could get a few things here and there done. And a lot of people laying around and kind of getting in the way. We do road closures and repaving during those times. And a lot of times we were working the hardest when the military was gone. So just because it just works that way. But anyway, all right, guys. It's been great seeing you. Understand the reason for the season, okay? This is where it's not about President's Day, right? It's not about, God, they've washed out so much. Nothing special anymore, though. That's the problem. It's just President's Day. But we don't need to have every president's birthday. But now we have President's Day. Then it's the, civil rights this. And then we have, guys, can we not be authentic even about our own history? We can't be authentic about our own religions. Golly, guys. I don't think of myself as I probably should, but guys, it doesn't take that hard to see that we're really screwing up. No wonder people don't understand religion, or we can't even get our story straight. We can't get our nativity scene straight. We can't even get that done right. We got so many versions of the Bible, people can come up with some really weird crap. And then we know that if we go back, anyway, stop. All right, let's do better. How about that? Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy who you are. Find a way, do whatever it is. Let your hair down. Was it Let Your Hair Down, Sally? Yeah, that was one. Anyway, I'll have to listen to that old country song. I missed that one. All right. Hey, enjoy your weekend. I'm going to have a good weekend. It's going to be great. I'm going to go over to Knoll, float down the river for a few hours. See what I can see. Do all that good stuff. All right, guys. I don't know. I've enjoyed it. It's been awesome. I will be back Tuesday. I will not be here Monday. I will be back Tuesday. Enjoy your time. Be better. Do better. We can do better, right? We can all do better for each other and the world around us. It's crazy, isn't it? All right, guys. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. There will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in. We'll win. I promise to make promise I can't keep. Guys, you've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution thingy? Well, that limits your government, never limits you. We've always been the authority. We just don't participate, and that's on us. If it took about 100 guys to walk down to a city council meeting and stood there and said, hey, we're not doing this, I don't know. What happens if it's just guys who said, we're not going to let weirdos do weird things in our city anymore. We're not going to let you guys do this. We're not going to be abused anymore at will. We're going to just stand up. What would happen then? What would we be? I don't know. Sometimes that's the sad part is it's like we've seen that we took over school boards during COVID because people were outside their bounds and doing tyrannical things, but now we're right back to where we were before, where we're back to sleep. All right, guys, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys on